SpaceX expands its refurbishing program. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time today. We have a little bit of misty morning and focus. Dark moon teas, guys. Check them out. Check them out. So good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee. Hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today's a technology day. We're going to be talking about SpaceX and their refurbish program. It is expanding, according to what I'm reading, and I want to go through this article I was reading over on PC Magazine. They did a pretty good job at kind of summing up what was going on over there with SpaceX, and I think it's really positive for all of us because I think prices are going to start coming down. That was a lot of the questions that I was getting. Matter of fact, on the lives, on the JC live shows on Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that we do, sometimes I'll get questions about like, is the price going to go down? Are the version 4s better than the version 3s or 2s or 1s? And should I upgrade? And I'm going to answer some of those questions also in this video because I think it's important and I get the same questions a lot. So if I answer it in video, I could always send people here. Anyways, before we get into this article, I just want to say that if you enjoy this content, even the least, throw it a thumbs up. That would be very helpful for myself, for the channel, for the algorithm, for the YouTube gods to shine their light on this channel and actually promote it. Also, if you are subscribed, thank you so much. If you're not, consider doing so and then click this little button over here. So when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. Also, if you want to say thank you for all of my hard work, there's a little thank you button. You could click on that, give $1 or $2 if you like. If not, that's perfectly fine. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. Also, if you want more Starlink content like this, I have about 271 videos just on SpaceX Starlink. Helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to buy, what not to buy, how to do a lot of things, and of course the why behind it all. This channel has always been all about the why. Also, if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks, they're free just for you being here. Check them out. Go to JCristina.com/books. So now that the housekeeping is complete, let's go ahead and jump right into this article. I'll give you some commentary on top of it. And then of course, I want to hear from you. That's the most important thing about this channel is the community. And we have an awesome community. Thank you so much for being here. Anyways, it starts out by saying SpaceX is hinting that it will make refurbishing old or return SpaceX Starlink dishes a main part of its business. Very interesting. The company published a new environmental responsibility document that goes over SpaceX's efforts to recycle and reuse Starlink hardware. Quote, in the event that a Starlink product reaches end of life, we provide guidance to ensure proper recycling and recovery. A retired product can be returned to a local recycling facility or to Starlink itself for a refurbishment process, enabling another lifespan of the product. We continuously strive to increase the refurbishment program by expanding the program to include new product lines. The document also reads, Starlink is determined to optimize and expand this process, accelerating the transition to a circular economy. Very important. That said, the recycling and refurbishment program isn't really mentioned on the official Starlink site, aside from the environmental responsibility section tucked under the Starlink legal terms. So the program may still be a work in progress. Still, the company has been going out of its way to promote sales of its refurbished Starlink dishes. In recent weeks, SpaceX has placed ads on social media mentioning that users can buy refurbished versions of its newest version 4 Starlink dish for $399, which is a $200 discount. The focus on refurbished units arrives as SpaceX is trying to attract more users to the satellite internet service, which has included offering select U.S. consumers a $1 trial period. Not bad. I spoke about this $1 trial period in the last video, the video before, and someone wrote in the comments that it was clickbait. That they were offering it for $1. No, they are actually offering it for $1 to test it out, which is really kind of nice. I like that a lot. Before, you had to go and buy the system for $599, pick up the service for $120. You end up out like, what, $720 or whatever. And then if you don't want it, you could return it within the 30 days and then get all of that money back. Here, you just have to outlay $1 and basically do the same thing. So this is really great for people to be able to try. Anyways, back to the article here. Starlink currently has over 2.7 million users, but some analysts are projecting that the user base will grow from 2.7 million to 4.1 million by year's end. Man, that's a lot. Tim Farah, a satellite industry analyst, told PC Magazine, quote, "What is clear is that SpaceX is counting on much faster growth based on the current rate of terminal production and satellite launches. This means, just like at Tesla, we are likely to see significant price cuts for equipment and potentially also for airtime as Starlink attempts to compete with 5G wireless home broadband. As we can see with Verizon Home, we see AT&T has their Air, and of course T-Mobile has their T-Mobile Home Internet also. All of this 5G is becoming a really big thing. Matter of fact, AT&T is actually trying to close out all of their copper and go only air. So it's either fiber or air with AT&T. And if you have DSL or if you have Uverse, well, pretty much you're going to be out of luck probably before the end of this year because they're going to convert you to these 5G towers even for your home internet, if you like it or not, if you like AT&T or not. That's for another discussion. Anyways, the article finalizes with, along with the refurbishment program, a potential hardware price reduction could also be on the horizon through a new Starlink mini dish, which is slated to arrive later this year. As a researcher noted, the mini dish, smaller in size, likely means that it will be cheaper for SpaceX to produce. That could translate into lower prices if Starlink passes along the savings to its customers. And I think Elon Musk will do that because we've seen them go up in price, but we've also seen them go down from $120 to $90, where there was a lot of connectivity available, but not a lot of people in the region or in the node or in the area. The price was reduced. So anyways, what did we learn here? Well, number one, there is a new environmental responsibility document that highlights the expansion of this refurbishment program, which is really good. We want to see more refurbishment out there. And the reason being is a lot of you guys ask me, can I get this? And I'm like, yeah, go to starlink.com and then go and purchase a new kit. And then you'll have a new and then you'll have refurbished and then you can select. But the problem is that only happens with certain people in certain areas, and that is it. It's not for everyone. So this is going to help. So more of you will be able to pay $399 instead of $200, which is great. The second thing is that SpaceX Starlink is looking to transition to that circular economy. Now, circular economy is very important, right? Because now they'll be able to refurbish that hardware instead of making new. Well, is it faster for SpaceX to create a new version 4 dish, let's say, or to refurbish one that's already out there? I would have to say that it would probably be equal in the amount of time, but it's going to be a lot cheaper to just simply refurbish because there's only so many parts that are going to go bad. And they can just replace that part or this module. And I think modularity is going to be very important for SpaceX Starlink because as they make the products and they make them more modular, that will be a lot easier for the refurbishing team to be able to refurbish stuff. To be able to unplug a module and plug in a new one, that's a lot easier than to desolder something and then put in another IC or another circuit board or whatever to be able to fix it. It'd be a lot easier just to plug and play, so to speak, right? Unplug a module and plug in a new one and you're pretty much golden. So I think that modularity is also going to be very, very important. Now I know the inside of these things, after I've looked at them in the past, they're a little bit, let's say, not easy to work on. So once again, I think that if they make it easier for themselves going forward is going to help their refurbishment program, in my personal opinion. Number 3, refurbished version 4 Starlink dishes at $399, which is a $200 discount, is going to become more readily available. Just like I said, this is going to be very important for you and I that want to go and pick up something that is cheaper. So instead of paying $599, you can pay $399 for the exact same thing, and you're going to get a full warranty, just like if you purchased a brand new one. So if you pay $599, if you pay $399 for a refurbished, you're going to get the exact same warranty. So they're going to stand behind it. So it really doesn't matter at that point. Get that $200, stick it in your pocket, right? Number 4, SpaceX is said to be growing from 2.7 million to 4.1 million subscribers by the end of the year. When I read that, I'm like, holy hell, that is a lot of new subscriptions. That is a lot of people, guys. That is a lot. And like they were saying, that's why they're ramping up the speed of not only launching these satellites to be able to have enough connectivity for everyone, but also going into this refurbished thing, because now they're going to be able to refurbish and get those products out there, or get that gear out there at a cheaper price and a quicker turnaround than to constantly make new, which is smart. And finally, number 5 is that these new dishes that are coming out, the minis, right? They're going to be cheaper to make. They're smaller, right? But what's also important is the version 4s. They're also very cheap to make. Why? Because they have like a little plastic kickstand. They're not fully articulating. They don't have motors. They don't have actuators that spin the entire antenna 360. It doesn't have that. So that's all that it is just a flat panel with a couple ICs, a couple of little modules, and there you go. That's a hell of a lot cheaper to make compared to the older versions. 100% the case. Like I said before, I do believe that Elon Musk, SpaceX Starlink, will be passing on the savings to the customers. Not only with the hardware, but I do believe with the price per month. That monthly service fee, I think, is going to go down as there's more and more consumers out there using SpaceX Starlink. Don't hold me to it, but I really do think it will happen. Because once again, like the article talked about, they are competing with 5G. But 5G isn't everywhere, guys. This is everywhere. Doesn't matter where you are. But if you are a home user and you do have access to a 5G tower nearby, it's going to be half price, maybe even less, 60, 66% cheaper to use one of these 3 companies, AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon, for their wireless home fixed internet. That's going to be an issue that Elon Musk is going to have to address, because not everyone is using it mobily and needs or requires the use of it anywhere on the planet, which is a benefit, but not everyone needs it, right? Also, I do think that price cutting will come, probably before the end of this year, maybe the beginning of next year. So I do think that all of this is good news. You have the refurbishing happening more. You're going to end up with lower prices. There's going to be more availability of the cheaper hardware or the refurbished hardware. So this is, I think, exceptional. And I do think, once again, the prices are going to go down in the not so distant future. Now, like I said at the very beginning, one of the other questions that I keep getting asked is, should I go from a version 1, version 2, version 3 to the latest and greatest version 4? There's 2 answers to that, yes and no. And the reason being is I would say no if you do not need a faster system than what you have. All right, number 1. Also no if you need that articulation, that full 360 spin, that, let's say, not having to get up on your roof to be able to move it if in the future SpaceX Starlink needs you to move it. Because once again, with the version 4s, they are not movable. You have to do it yourself. You have to climb up the ladder and now reposition or readjust it if it is out of whack. That is not for everyone. If you're older, if you can't climb a ladder, if you don't want to go up to like a 2-story building or whatever, the version 2s, anything that has that fully articulated or actuated or motorized antenna is going to be better for you. Now, the other side of that is if you need faster speeds, more reliability, a little bit less rain fade, and lower latency. That's a lot of goodness there, I know. Well, the version 4 is probably going to be for you. Also, the version 4 has the latest and greatest kit when it comes to the router. That router is going to be a Wi-Fi 6 router and not a Wi-Fi 5 router. So you're going to get a little bit better speed there, a little bit more security. There's a bunch of things. I talked about it in a video. Maybe I'll put a link over here if I get a chance. Anyways, check out that playlist. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about all this? Down below, let's have a discussion. Will you pick up a refurbished unit? Especially since it has the full warranty on it. What do you think about SpaceX Starlink going from 2.7 million customers to 4.1 million before the end of the year? Unbelievable, right? Anyways, down below, let's have this discussion. If you enjoyed this content, like I said before, throw it a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all of the products that I've invented over the many years. Check them out. Pick something up if you like it. Check out my teas. Check out my books. Don't forget all of my merch. Anyways, guys, many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, and we'll see you in the next one. Love y'all.